Good morning. Whenever we face difficulties or problems in our life, we always seek for advice. And who do we go for to seek for wise counsel? Some people go to YouTube and they get all their information from YouTube. That may not be the wisest. Some people go for power speaker and they pay thousands of dollars for some speakers in the conference. Or some look for gurus, financial gurus and all. So we are always looking for some good advice for our life, and especially we are in trouble. Or let's take a look at this question from another perspective. How will you choose leaders in church? Who will you consider for leadership? Among all the people that we think of, who do you think will be wise enough to provide the leadership that's needed for the time? And it's very common, it's very usual for people to choose clever people, or people who have a lot of knowledgeable people, people with high education, or people who have even received theological training. Or maybe even in today's context, you look for people who are eloquent. If they are eloquent plus they have some charismatic personality, that would be even better, right? But we have to ask ourselves this question. Are they really wise? Are the people that we are looking for really wise or otherwise? So take a look at the passage that we have today in James chapter 3. And beginning at James chapter 3 verse 1. It says, not many of you should be teachers. So it seems to be at a time in the church, there are many people who want to be teachers badly. And why? Last week, Elder Gregory preached to us. He says, being teachers would be something that's very prominent, influential, or it could be adored by people. And James is addressing these that the teacher's speech are judged more strictly. And so therefore, you warn the people for the use of their tongue. And he's saying that the use of tongue could really be dangerous. And they admonish people that the use of your words, especially the teachers, it can really be devastating and causing great destruction. This is what we seen last week. And so people come to think of this, and after hearing James, you'll be thinking that if people are so eloquent and they cannot be teacher, who can be teacher? How about people who are not just eloquent, but they seem to be giving good advices? They seem to be wise. They seem to give sound advice to people. Can these people be teacher? You'll be asking. And what is James' response to these people? James was like hearing their response from them. James would be like, are you sure? Are you sure that these people are really wise? Are you sure these people are really giving wise advice or otherwise? And James will be asking, this advice that you hear and the advice that you yourself give, how wise are they? How wise are they? Verse 13, part A, it says, who is wise and understanding among you? So it seems that there are people who claim to be wise and giving very wise or good advice to people, or receiving wise advice from some, maybe gurus among them. So, and I put here today, it is very easy for us to equate these qualities as wisdom. Being clever, being knowledgeable, and eloquent in their speech, probably especially in James' time, or being very highly educated or receiving theological training, or people who have experienced a lot in their life. And it's very easy and very common for us to equate these as wisdom. Please do not get me wrong. These things are not wrong in themselves. These things are good things. Being clever, being knowledgeable, having a lot of experience in life, being eloquent, having received high education, even receiving theological college training from different colleges. These are gifts from God. These are good gifts from God. They are not wrong in themselves. However, it will be too naive, too simplistic to equate wisdom to these qualities. All these qualities are good, and some of us may be easily impressed by them. But the truth of the matter is, must understand that true wisdom is not defined by this gift. True wisdom is not defined by this gift. Then you may ask, in your mind, then what is true wisdom? How do we define them? If people who are clever, knowledgeable, very experienced, highly educated, and these are not true wisdom, then what is true wisdom? Well, verse 13 partly it tells us that, well, wisdom actually can be seen, can be shown, but not by words, but by deeds. This commentator actually put here, he says, the ultimate evidence of wisdom is behavioral, not intellectual. It's behavioral, but not intellectual. He says, let him show by his good conduct, and let him show his works in meekness of wisdom. So, the true evidence of true wisdom, at least the one that is defined by the Bible, is it can really be seen. It is shown in a person's behavior, in a person's lifestyle. So, when you're looking for a wise person, what should you look for? Look for a good life, not a clever answer. Look for a good life, but not clever answer. Who will know that you are truly wise? Who will know that I am truly wise or otherwise? Well, a possibility I put here, it could be your colleagues or your classmates who see you in action every day, or with you every day. They will see your lifestyle. They will see your behavior. Or maybe closest to you, maybe your neighbors or your church mates that you serve together, or neighbor who see you, who live next door to you and observe your behavior. It could be. You see, I'm coming closer to your life in this concentric circle. Yeah. Finally, who do you think will know you best? Yeah, your family members, isn't it? Your parents, your siblings, your children. If you're married, the person who sleep beside you, your spouse. They will know us best. They will know whether we are truly wise or otherwise. They will see your behavior. Right? They will observe your lifestyle. And then you just have to remember the ultimate evidence of wisdom is behavioral, not intellectual. Who will not know our behavior? Who will not see our lifestyle? Maybe students who hear us in our classrooms, and most of the time they don't get to see our lifestyle. Or audience that we give speeches to, we teach or we preach to, they probably cannot detect our behaviors. Or friends that we see them once in a while, weekly, maybe then they come to you for advice, they are not close enough to see the real us. They can't see our lifestyle. Or when you write a book, you post something on Instagram, you write a blog, or you post something on Facebook. These people who look at your books or read your books on Instagram or your posts, they will not be able to spot your godliness or the lack of it. Right? So you may ask, how do we know if someone is giving me a real good advice, godly advice? How do I know I am giving wise advice or otherwise? How can you tell? Well, James is telling us we should observe three things to look at the wisdom, to evaluate all the advices or the wisdom that we are giving or people are receiving, or we are receiving from people. There are three things: the nature, the source, and the result of wisdom. First, take a look at false wisdom. False wisdom. The nature of false wisdom is about self. It's about ourselves. Verse 14. It says, but you have bitter jealousy. Bitter jealousy is when you see people doing better than you, and you are not very happy. Your colleagues doing better than you, your sibling doing better than you, your churchmate doing better than you. You are not happy. You have this bitter jealousy. You see people succeeding in their life, your peers succeeding in their life, and you ask, why him? Why her? Why they are succeeding? Why not me? So when you have such bitterness in you, James says it's about yourself. So why is bitterness about us? Because it's about, I'm not happy that people are doing better than me. It's about me. And in bitter jealousy, you try to pull people down. And the opposite of that is selfish ambition. It says you have bitter jealousy, and selfish ambition is when you want to pull yourself up. You want to place yourself up in a higher position. Bitter jealousy, you pull them down. In selfish ambition, you want to put yourself in the limelight. And some of us will be saying, but not really true. I mean, I want to be successful in this area of serving God. But we must also understand that sometimes in the name of serving God, it's about us. I want to be successful. I want to be seen contributing positively. It could also be about us. You know, we can be serving in the name of serving God. We are actually doing self-serving. In the name of serving God, it could be some kind of unseen, unhealthy competition. Because this whole thing of bitter ambition and bitter jealousy and selfish ambition is something about our heart. I put that this self-centeredness is deep in our heart. It's deep in our heart. It can surface up in our workplace, in a classroom, in a CCA, at home, even in church ministry. And James says, don't boast about it. Verse 14, part B, he says, don't boast about it or deny the truth. We can pursue self-centeredness in the name of serving God. We can make ourselves shine in the ministry, but it's ourselves shine in the ministry. We can bring other people down and make ourselves look good, even in the mission work. We can. So James says, don't boast about this so-called you are serving God. Don't boast about it. Nor should you be denying or lying about this truth, that self-centeredness is deep in our heart. We need to be very honest when the Word of God confronts us. Because this is the nature of false wisdom. It's about self-centeredness. How about the source of this false wisdom? For the source of this false wisdom is man-made and is ultimately satanic. Verse 15 says, it is not from above. It is in fact from below, earthly, and this is totally not spiritual at all. No matter how spiritual we can pretend to be, James said it is not spiritual at all. We can cover up our actions, self-centeredness, using even Bible verses we can quote Bible verses to cover up our actions. For example, some people who doesn't attend church on Sunday and they ask them, why aren't you in church? It's Matthew 28 says, the Great Commission says, I must go and make disciples. So on Sunday, I hang out with my friends. I go for golf, I go for this activity, that activity. Then I'm doing outreach work, outreach work. They can use verses to cover up what they are doing. Or they can use Christian jargons to cover up what they are doing. So we can be so deceptive. For example, we say, we want to renovate this church, rebuild this whole place so they can rent it out. This is part of stewardship for the house of God. Wow, sounds great jargon, isn't it? But it could be a cover up for greed, or we are bought into this whole idea of success theology. And it's not spiritual, although we may want to make it sound very spiritual. And ultimately, James is saying such idea is not from above, it is actually demonic. Such wisdom is from the lies of the evil one. The source of false wisdom is man-made and is influenced by the evil one. What is the result of false wisdom? Well, it's very obvious. James says there will be disorder and every evil thing. There will be evil things, there will be disorder. Disorder could be like infighting within the church that you find. The church will split. Evil thing will include, there will be lies flying around, there will be loss of integrity, the way we deal with each other, the way we deal with ministry, there will be favoritism shown in James chapter 2. There will be neglect of a real ministry to the poor, James chapter 2. And there will be speech sins, meaning boasting, slandering, gossiping, James chapter 3, first part. And probably we will see rich people suing the poor, the gospel being compromised, church fund misuse, relationship within us being strained or broken. These are all the disorder and evil things. The effect of false wisdom is chaos and sin. Chaos and sin. So some implication for us to pause and think about this. How can you tell whether we are truly wise or otherwise? How can you tell whether the advice that we are receiving is wise or not? Number one, check the nature of this advice that you are giving or people are giving to you. Check the nature of this advice. Is this advice about glorifying man or about glorifying God? You can hear people who talk about, I give you some advice, says, wow, this elder did all this. Wow, this great man said this. Oh, she has accomplished this. When we are all focusing on man's accomplishment, man's saying, man's ideas, man's work, there is something very wrong, isn't it? Even in ministry work. There's something wrong with that. We are focusing on how great man this person accomplished, even in the name of ministry. Then you have to check whether we are really glorifying God, focusing on God or man. Second, besides checking the nature, check the source. Are they faithfully biblical? Not just so-called biblical, because anybody can quote the scripture, even to cover up for their own sinfulness. So we have to ask whether they are really faithfully biblical. Check the source. For example, if you want to encourage people to serve, what will people usually give advice in today's context? Sometimes we hear advice like, give the people the ownership. Give them ownership, and they own the ministry, they will really serve. Because it's their ministry, they will look good or bad, based on the way they do the ministry. So it's about them. This is a man-centered understanding, man-centered way of man-centered psychology. But we understand from a scripture that we encourage people to serve, not based on ownership, but on servanthood. Because Christ himself came to serve. Christ is a servant of God. Christ himself came to serve us and not to be served. We have a servant leader here, servant king here. So we serve out of servanthood, not out of ownership, because I own it, I open, the ministry good or bad, it's based on me. So it's a very man-centered ideology, actually. Third, we check the results. What are the effects of such advice? What are the effects of such wisdom? If your method caused a lot of church fights, disharmony, then such method, such wisdom is really questionable, isn't it? We have known of people today that are claiming that they have the right way to do ministry and the right way to read the Bible. And they cause a lot of disharmony in churches, among churches. And I talked to one of these leaders. He used to be my colleague, he used to be my friend, and they are emphasizing a lot on the only right way to read the Bible, which is actually, I do agree with him that it is really a very good way to read the Bible, and we should encourage that. But the way they go about it militantly has caused a lot of injuries among churches, and therefore I question such wisdom. I also know of pastors, wherever they go, after 2 or 3 years ministry in that particular church, they cause the church split, they cause quarrels, and cause the church to be hurt. And he had gone to 4 churches, and now he's in the 5th church. And everyone that he gone to the past 4, everyone leave the church having church splits and quarrels and fights and disorder. So you have to ask whether this is real wisdom or not. We really have to ask ourselves. Then some of us here may say, then how does true wisdom look like? How can we identify a truly wise believer? If the gifts that God has given to us are not the criteria, being eloquent, being knowledgeable, being experienced, these are not the criteria, then what it is? And then even if a person is seemingly very successful, and he seems to give very sound advice, and that could even be self-centered, demonic, then what is true wisdom, we ask? Well, we have to examine the 3 criteria again. And James is giving us these 3 same criteria to examine what is true wisdom. Verse 17 to 18. What is true wisdom? James says, the wisdom from above is, firstly pure. It's most importantly, it is pure. The true wisdom, the nature of this true wisdom is pure. Pure really means, the word really means unmixed. Unmixed. It's like oil and water. You cannot mix them. It cannot mix. So such wisdom, it cannot mix with earthly wisdom. James knows, and he knows the tendency of his hearer. Probably some of the hearers will be saying, wait, why can't we just borrow some wise advice from the world? And maybe we can use some of the success formulas that they are using. Though it may be man-centered psychology or humanistic management theory, why don't we use them in church? You see how other churches are doing? They are adopting these theories, and how you see how they grow to be mega. So what's James' answer to them? No. The wisdom from above is first of all pure. It cannot be mixed. Why not? You ask. Because this is the nature of the wisdom from above. Is pure. And the second meaning to this word pure also means it is set apart for God. It's pure, is set apart for God. It is God-centered. The true wisdom is centered on God, not man. It is an echo of the wisdom books in the Old Testament. It echoes of the wisdom book in the Old Testament that says the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. It is God-centered. It's not humanistic. It's not human-centered, and we cannot use humanistic psychology or management theory because these are all centered on man. So I put here the nature of true wisdom is that it cannot be mixed. It's pure. It cannot be mixed with the world's idea because it's focusing on man, and it must be centered on God. It is wisdom from above is like water and oil, and wisdom from below is like water and oil. They cannot be mixed. It's incompatible. What is the result of true wisdom? James tells us the result of this true wisdom is harmony, is peace, is relational qualities. Can you see verse 17? The whole list there is about relational qualities. And it's opposite to false wisdom, because false wisdom causes fights, strife, disharmony. But true wisdom, verse 18 says, the result of it is peace. Verse 18 says, we make peace. It's about harmonious relationship with one another. Let's take a quick look at the list then. It says first, verse 17, it says it's peaceable. That means you're willing to make peace with people. You don't want that fighting going on. Second, it's gentle. You're not harsh with one another, with people. In fact, you are sympathetic to another person. You are reasonable. In dealing with people, you are not unreasonable. You don't argue over words, but you can actually be persuaded by good reasoning. Merciful, and the word merciful really appears in chapter 2, verse 13. Where you accept all kinds of people. Why? Because you don't show favoritism, you don't make distinction among people. You are impartial, and in fact, you are sincere. You are not hypocritical. You will not be praising God over here, and after this, go downstairs and you start gossiping about one another, slander one another. You are sincere. You can see it is all relational qualities. The result of true wisdom is peace. It's harmonious relationship within the family of God. At this point, then we'll ask ourselves, how can we get this true wisdom? Where can we find this wisdom? How can we grow in that? That's where we have to consider the last criteria, which is the source of true wisdom. Verse 17 says the true wisdom is from above. It's from above. It's from God. So only God can give us true wisdom. Then we ask, will God really give us true wisdom? The answer? Yes, He will give us willingly. You may ask, how do you know He will give us? Well, chapter 1, verse 5 says, if anyone lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who will give generously to all without finding fault. Remember? But we may see, some people may ask, really? He will give us generously? How does that work? Well, we must understand, firstly, God has already given us true wisdom. God has already given us a true wisdom. Christ, the wisdom of God. In our responsive reading just now, 1 Corinthians chapter 1, Paul was saying, verse 23, he says, we preach Christ crucified. Verse 24, it says, Christ, in fact, Christ is the power of God and the wisdom of God. Christ Jesus is really the wisdom of God. How so? Well, Jesus himself is so God-centered and other people-centered that he will obey God even to the point of death. And death on the shameful cross, not for his own sin, but for our sin. And the result of it, what's the result of such wisdom? When we came to make peace. Peace within the holy God who cannot stand sin, and sinful people like us who cannot stand before a holy God. And Paul says, this is the Christ that we preach. How can we have this wisdom? Number one, I say, humbly come before God and ask. And you can ask, you can say a prayer, something like this. You say, God, please give me your best wisdom, Jesus Christ. Give me Jesus. Give me this best wisdom which is God-centered and other people-centered. And will only result in peace. Peace between me, a sinner, and you, a holy God. And then peace with the people around me. Please give me this Jesus, the wisdom of God. And then you confess before God and says, all the wisdom I've been using are so worldly, so self-centered, and only results in fights and strife. And ask God to forgive you, to give you this true wisdom, which is Jesus himself. Ask him, and he will give you generously. But if you have already done so, and you are a Christian, what should you do? If you are already a Christian, you should continue to ask. Continue asking. And seek this wisdom wholeheartedly. As a believer, seek it wholeheartedly. And do not be half-hearted. Because half-hearted means you want God's wisdom, at the same time you want the world's wisdom. Like James chapter 1 verse 6 to 7 says, such half-heartedness is called doubting. And James chapter verse 7 says, 1:7 says, this kind of attitude is actually double-minded. You want the world and you want God. You want the best of both worlds. Then you will be unstable in everything that you do. If you really want to seek this wholeheartedly, you must be willing to forego earthly wisdom, even they may appear to be very successful. Deep in our heart, we always want the best of both worlds. But it cannot be done. It cannot be done. We need to seek God's wisdom wholeheartedly. As Christians, we must denounce worldly wisdom, even they seem very promising. Remember, this is water and oil. They cannot be mixed. They are incomparable. And how should we go about it? How can we grow in this wisdom? Well, I put there last application, you can read, study, and constantly think of applying small. God has already given us wisdom in his written word itself. I put there 2 Timothy 3:15-17 says, all the scripture will make us wise unto salvation. Wise unto salvation. And the scripture is profitable to prepare us for righteousness, that the man of God may be thoroughly equipped for all good works. How can we grow in wisdom? Well, you read the word, study the word when you have an opportunity, and constantly think of applying small. What small thing? Applying small means applies in small areas, every small areas in your life. Should I buy this online? It's a small thing. Should I watch this YouTube? Should I post this post in my Instagram? Should I eat this? Should I say this piece of information to these brothers or sisters or these colleagues of mine or to my spouse? Every small situation, you think of how can I apply what I've been reading, what I've been studying from the Word of God. In the MRT station, when you look at a person, you say, wow, this person is very valuable. How should I respond? Before you respond, you think, okay, what did I read this morning? What does the Word of God tell me? So think of applying a small thing. Don't think of only applying a big thing. Wow, I'm going to choose my spouse. Wow, I'm going to choose a career. Wow, this is a big thing. Then you start searching on how to apply the Word of God. It's too late. Apply this small first. Make sure that every small decision in our life, we are God-centered, because the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. And the result of true wisdom is harmony. Let us all pray for that. Oh Lord, we thank you for giving us Jesus, true wisdom. In Him we see total God-centeredness and other people-centeredness. We pray that God will grow to be like Him. And for people among us who have not really known Jesus yet, we pray that God will know our Lord Jesus, the true wisdom of God. I pray this in Jesus' name.